And I just started it.
Yeah, I guess we could just start it.
Just start.
It's MAMS. This week we're doing Avenged Sevenfold, City of Evil. Yeah.
This was such a fun listen, y'all.
It was.
I enjoyed this a lot. Listen, there is always a time in my life that I'm like, I gotta listen to all the old stuff, and it usually is almost every day because that's all I like listening to. But this is one album that I usually go for the White Album. I usually don't listen to City of Evil, so it was really fun to hit this one again.
Yeah, no. When I was listening to it, I was like, shit, I forgot how much this album is very important to me and my musical upbringing because, like, every second of it burned into my fucking frontal cortex or whatever is up there.
Yeah, I feel like for a tiny little 7th grader when this shit came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, wow, this is some like my first concept album ever, kind of, Like it just kind of feels like there's something special about this. There's a big story to tell.
When Hail to the King came out, this band kind of dropped off for me, and then the Stage came out, and I heard that one time because I know I made a point to listen to it to see what it was like.
Right.
And then that's been it for me. So I haven't listened to this since probably like around high school time. Like, seriously, like I was trying to think about it the other day of like, when's the last time I actually heard this?
Well, yeah, I think it's
been a while.
Difficult. It's difficult because the Rev passed away, right?
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. And then his drum parts were on A Nightmare, and Portnoy played them,
which was good. It was good.
Yeah, it's great album.
It was like 90% done. If you've listened to the demos versus what made the final album, there's a little bit of differences, but they already had it all written. So Portnoy tried to follow it as best to what Jimmy had written. Yeah.
So like you can kind of hear like how much influence Jimmy had on writing the music for the whole career up until that point. And then we get Hail to the King, and then we get the Stage, and then we get this most recent one. I can't even remember what it's called. We did listen to it. And
Life
it was
is
weird.
but a dream.
That's it.
Listen, I did that whole ass react. It's good. I like it. It's weird.
It's super weird.
It's weird like how Jimmy would do weird because it's very Pinkly Smooth-esque, which was the side project he had with Sin, which was all just avant-garde weird sounding shit. Like it's just Little Piece of Heaven, but a whole album.
Yeah, there's a point in their career that once Nightmare was done, they were like, okay, we're no longer sitting in that metalcore space. It's 2010 now. We're only going to be doing prog rock and catering to the Ozzy Osbourne fans and playing festivals. And then you could see that. And then they got to the point where it's like, we're just going to make the weirdest shit ever because everyone likes us still. It doesn't matter if we have something that's shit.
we did a lot. We went on a journey with a lot of drugs, and now we're Pink Floyd.
Right. And it's cool. It's whatever. People get old. I get it. Whatever.
We're Mr. Bungle era.
Yeah. But like this is like the best quality of this metalcore thing that they were doing. I think it really set it up for this one, the White Album, it's the self-title, and then for Nightmare. So it's a good starting point for that trilogy.
Yes.
Absolutely. Hey, good tease. Good tease. You guys at home, if you like that, boy, just stick around because it's going to get even better, I suppose. But make sure you hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. And watch all the other content. Watch The Green Room. It's the new show that we're doing where it's just us doing the yappity yappy yaps. You know what I mean? And it's funny.
You think this is funny? In a cosmic sort of way, yes.
Well, let's get into it.
The shill is over.
The shill is over. Now it's the audience participation part.
Come on down!
Guys, dudes, dudettes, NBs out there, what is your favorite fucking solo on City of Evil?
Solo.
Oh.
I will go first. It is Sidewinder, and I will rest my case.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Let me pick something different,
though. Go ahead, Brett. Okay. While you're searching, I have one in my mind.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's kind of a cop-out, but I really like the dueling shit in Backcountry I just like it a lot, and it's something I always tried to learn on guitar when I was like, I was starting to play guitar at this point when this came out. So, like, I was wanting to do that really bad. So I really like that, like, dueling guitar stuff. Is it my favorite track? Of course not. Right? But like, I really do like the solo work in that.
To that point, I think when this album came out, a lot of us who were like figuring out what we should be playing and all that stuff realized very quickly whether we were a lead or rhythm guitarist. Can you do what Zacky's doing? Yeah, but except for the hard parts, no. All right, just hang out and learn chords.
Yep.
Yeah. Can you not even do that? Here's a bass. Have fun with that.
No, this was like the era of the rhythm guitar and the lead guitar. But what pissed me off is that you would like, let me read Zacky's parts, and then it's like, what the fuck is he doing? He's doing the same thing as Sinister right now. What is happening? It's like, stop doing that, man.
Insane that they were two top class metal guitarists in the land at the time, and they were both in this fucking band. Because Zachy is just as good as Sin.
He's so chill about it.
Listen, people talk shit about Johnny too on bass. He's throwing the fuck down. Okay, they're all great at their instrument.
Yes.
Fucking Wicked End or whatever that is.
Yeah.
I'd argue that on this album that Matt's vocals are the weakest link on this entire thing.
And they're not bad at all.
They're not bad.
They're just comparatively people,
Just you've got
we will get into
some
that.
True greatness sitting here,
But yeah, Brett, your favorite solo.
Oh yes.
What are you picking?
I think I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. I'll check later. That it's from Betrayed, only because it keeps reminding me. There's a part where they're kind of going together, and it reminds me of Fairy Tale's first intro song, and I don't know why. It's just there's something about it, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
No, Betrayed has a kind of a medieval, kind of like hoppy kind of vibe to it. There's something interesting and different. It like pulls away from the metalcore stuff.
Yes.
Or like the metal stuff. It really is just like almost like symphonic. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Betrayed has a lot of lore behind it too, but we'll get into all that in a bit. First off, let's learn about this shit. So, City of Evil, Huntington Beach's own Avenged Sevenfold's third studio album. It was released on June 6, 2005 via Warner Brothers and Hopeless. So their first major label after Wake in the Fallen, which, by the way, chat, we were really considered doing for Halloween.
It was close. It was really close.
It was real close.
Because it's 20th anniversary. But we decided there's more to talk about with this one in context of nostalgia for us.
And it's better. It's better.
And the ongoing world around us. We're in very similar times, if you know what I mean.
We must stop the terror. I call upon all nations to do everything they can to stop these terrorist killers. Thank you. Now watch this drive.
Warner Brothers picked them up, and boy, howdy, can you tell the difference in just the music videos and the quality, like even this. Money. It's not. This is the original version. Yeah, this is the original version, not remastered, not nothing. Hopefully, we get one next time.
Still sounds better than shit today.
Yep.
Yep. So good.
But that's another reason why we decided to go with City of Evil, because you listen to Wake in the Fallen and it sounds like asshole. And then you listen to this, and it's like even you listen to that remastered kind of version that they put out recently.
Sorry,
it's not. There's not a lot different.
No,
But City of Evil still sounds good.
Here's what it is: Wake in the Fallen. That's Tony building the first Iron Man suit in the cave with a box of scraps, and then this is the fully painted like Mark II, Mark III, when he figured out the frosting thing.
He's an Avenger now. Okay.
Yeah. Not anymore. He's dead. There's 11 tracks on it, coming in at a hot 72 minutes and 43 seconds. It's a chunky boy, but hey, that was kind of the norm back then.
There's only one song under 5 minutes, and it's only two seconds off. So like, is it really round up? Every song's 5 minutes.
Yes.
Plus.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Burn It Down. The second song is 2 seconds short of 5 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. No, and guess what? I like a big track length on a song. Like, I know there's a point, but like just way these songs are allowed to breathe on their own and
Yeah.
have different kind of parts. Like it's like watching a fucking an opera or musical happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like each song has its own individual like beat and fucking motifs that it returns to and it's allowed to return to. They're allowed to just do a fucking breakdown a little bit to lead into a goddamn solo. It's so good.
That's the whole the basis of a concept album, and they do it so well.
Yeah. And who are these lads doing this concept album so well? Why, that would be Matt Shadows on the lead vocals, Zachy Vengeance on rhythm guitar, co-lead guitar, acoustics, and backing vocals. I'm gonna save some time. They all did backing vocals. The Reverend Jimmy Sullivan on the drums and pianos, Sinister Gates on the lead guitar and piano, and Johnny Christ on the bass. It does feature one Mr. Brian Hayner, aka Papa Gates, Sinister's daddy, who played additional guitars, the pedal steel guitar, and the acoustic guitar solo on the left side of your ear on Sidewinder. It's father and son playing some gypsy jazz back and forth. Yeah, it's fucking. It's fun. It's fun.
The fucking claves and shit in the background.
Yeah.
Weirdo. It's sick.
Listen, that's why Internal Canon is my favorite August Burns Red song.
Same.
And why I wish they just went harder into that. It's very short compared to this. This time around, the production team were Avenged Sevenfold themselves, and Andrew Murdoch, aka Mudrock, who has worked with Avenged Sevenfold on Waking the Fallen, this one self-titled, Hail to the King. He's worked with Godsmack on the self-titled and Awake album. He had apparently worked on Hybrid Theory. I don't remember that, but
so a bunch of butt rock. Okay, got it.
But back then, it was
Warner
cool.
Brothers, right?
That was
Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers killing it, man.
Hey, listen, don't talk smack about Godsmack, okay? Sully's gonna get you.
He stands alone, dude.
Ah!
Right.
Once again, mixing was done by Mr. Andy Wallace, who's got to be in the running, right up there with who's the other one, the metal one that we always have on here, Will Putney. There we go, Willie P.
Yeah.
Andy Wallace is back.
Oh, it's been a minute.
Doing the mixing.
Touch everything becomes gold.
Yes. And mastering was done by this dude named Eddie Schreier. Brett, I didn't find any video for him, but I found a very nice picture. He looked like a very nice dude.
I'll make him move.
We haven't touched any of the work he's worked on yet, but he's got some good ones on here. He must not really do interviews or anything because I could not find anything on this guy.
Yeah,
not a single interview.
There's
just a
quite
worker,
a few
bro.
bands that not really hear of him before.
Yeah.
The Queen Bee, bro. Beyonce.
Yeah.
Talk about
Like,
that?
what? So he must be a very private guy, even though the photo I found is an old photo. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
weird.
He's just a worker. He just kills it and goes home.
Yeah.
Kills it, goes home.
My job, toilets and boilers, boilers and toilets. Plus that one boiling toilet. Fire me if you dare.
I wonder what kind of weird hobby he has. I hope it's a
Murder.
fish tank.
Oh, you know,
No, I hope
he's-
it's a fish
he
tank.
probably lives in
Serial
like
killing.
one of those shipping crates that are on the side of a mountain.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
off the grid kind of shit. This is
Mhm.
where I do
Comes
my
out of
art.
hiding just to record and then goes away.
And then the singles were Burn It Down. Did not know that before this.
I didn't know it was a single.
Mm-mm.
To be
No,
honest.
me neither. Because the first real single is Bat Country. Seize the Day.
Seize the day, or die regretting the time you lost. It's empty and gone without you here. Too many people to wake around.
Now,
And then nothing else.
You know what's funny though
good
is
ballad.
I thought because in Need for Speed Most Wanted, I think I believe it's Blinded in Chains is on there.
It is, yeah.
That song rips.
That's a good
I
song.
love that track.
Every song on this album rips, and this album in particular was all over all the fucking sports soundtracks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially Backcountry.
Yeah.
Backcountry was everywhere.
No, I will say Blinded in Chains is my favorite track on the album.
Really?
Overall,
Yes, because I can't get over that fucking. It sounds like a bass line for like a marching band when he does that shit with the double bass going into that second refrain. That's just so fucking cool. I love that. You know how many times I used to tell everyone, I was like, we need to do that for marching band. We need to have that little section just in the stands. We're doing that back and forth bass drums. So sick.
Didn't happen though. Fucking
No,
unachievers
no
over
one, no
there.
one. Everybody said no.
yep.
Losers. But yeah, guys, like it's such a good album. I got some fun facts, and we can kind
Okay.
of talk about some of our personal things. The sound of this album very different from Waking the Fallen and Sound of the Seventh Trumpet. They kind of ditched the metalcore traditional style for a more neoclassical, we'll say, or just regular heavy metal.
Rock opera kind of.
We want to do solos and stuff, and not necessarily scream.
Well,
all the time.
So was it because of his vocal cord shit that they kind of did
Put
that?
Put a pin in that. I'll get there. I'll get there. The overall change in sound was more due to they looked at their band's influence, their own influences and stuff, and they said, "Hey, none of this is super heavy. It's just good and it's melodic and it's still heavy. Let's just do that." So you get a lot of like Iron Maiden in the solos. You get a lot of fucking like Dream
100%.
Theater and with Sidewinder, the gypsy jazz influences of like Django Reinhardt, because Sin is like really into that.
Yeah. Little prodigy guitarist.
Of course he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, Matt's vocal change. Obviously, it's a thing, right?
Yeah.
And the big lore, the big rumor around the schoolyard is he fucked up his voice during Warped Tour and he had to get vocal surgery. The producer has dispelled the rumors, saying that when he met the band after sounding the Seventh Trumpet, they gave him the CD for Waking the Fallen. And he said, "Hey, this one's screaming. The next one is half and half." Or I guess that was Waking the Fallen. And then the next one is just singing. I don't want to scream anymore. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So Matt then worked with Ron Anderson, who worked with Axl Rose and Chris Cornell. And he worked with them for like 18 months before going in and recording this album, because he wanted to add a more gritty, raspy tone to make his voice like sound unique. Like you think of Axl Rose, you know what he sounds like. You think of Chris Cornell, you know what he
M
sounds
Shadows
Right.
is 100%
M
the
Shadows,
same.
Yeah.
100%.
100%.
Yeah. I
You
agree.
can't mistake him for fucking anybody.
No.
like. No.
Like,
Brett, you said Betrayed was your favorite solo. Betrayed is a tribute to Dimebag Darrell after his murder in 2003. Yeah, 2003, I think. If you don't know, murder happened because it was a super obsessed Pantera fan who was a little bit psychotic and had some mental issues, and
Just a
went to
little.
a Damage Plan show, and which was the band that Dimebag and Vinny had started after Pantera broke up, and fucking rushed the stage, shot and killed Dimebag. I think he won the security guards and all that stuff, and then he died. And I remember that day because I got picked up early from school, and my stepdad, who went to school with Phil from Pantera, like they know him personally, he was like, "Yeah, Dimebag got murdered last night," and I was like, "What?" And that's all the fucking radio shows were talking about. I think I was listening to Cowhead on 98 Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when
Yeah.
it happened.
mhm.
It shook the metal world. You know,
Shooketh.
fucking Nickelback has a Dimebag song, and it's actually pretty good. But yeah, in Betrayed, it's the POV switches between the killer. It switches to Dimebag's perspective and like Matt's perspective, talking about it and all that stuff. It's so good. This was one of the ones where me and Jordan just sat around like just learning, like because like it's such a good fucking unique sound to even the rest of the album. It's definitely the Pantera song.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
And finally, Avenged won Best New Artist at the 2006 VMAs, beating out one Rihanna, Panic at the Disco, James Blunt, you're beautiful, Angels and Airwaves, and Chris Brown, the Woman Beater.
That
So,
is
hey.
a hell of a lineup, though.
That is a hell of a lineup.
Yeah.
Damn.
To mop the floor with that's wild.
Holy
A metal
shit.
band too for
Yeah.
fucking MTV. Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow,
let's talk about that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Because honestly, ever since Katy Perry's and Lady Gaga's that era, it's never this kind of any form of real rock is
Bye-bye.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the last holdouts were like you'd see Green Day on on the Grammys and
Linkin
stuff
Park,
like that.
yeah.
Linkin
Well, the
Park.
last like major one that just should have never happened was like Slipknot winning a Grammy for Before I Forget.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
It was just such a different time, and like butt rock was the thing, or like alt rock was a thing in that 2003 2006
It was
era,
just alt
and
rock then.
yeah, alt rock or new rock alternative. What is it?
97X.
Nice.
Yeah, 98 rock, right?
Rage
So you-
Cage in the afternoons.
Yeah, you'd
No
have that
raging,
stuff.
brother.
And like it mattered for the little alties out there, right? Like little mall goths. But like, yeah, once 2007 hit, 2008, it's kind of you became another pariah. Nothing what you liked was popular anymore. So
Mhm.
we had a small little bit of popularity.
You retreat back to the underground cave from which you came, you little
Yes.
fucking gremlin.
Yep. Get back, nerd.
No, my solos. Everything has breakdowns and keyboards now.
Which I do like.
Oh yeah,
I like.
100%.
I
Oh
do.
yeah, I'm not changing what I like.
I don't know.
Um,
This was I think for me personally, this was a huge stepping stone into that kind of stuff.
I think it's a lot of kids that were in middle school hearing this or hearing Atreyu for the first time, same kind of like that Orange County metalcore scene
Mhm.
really pushed a lot of us into like how much further can we get heavy? Like what else is out there?
Yeah.
Well, they took all the flashiness of the 80s and all that stuff, but they put it through like that new metal filter that we had just gone through, but back to
Mhm.
like the metal core roots and shit. So you had an amalgamation of a sound that was truly just like unique of the time. You got your Avenged Sevenfolds, you got your Atreyus. What's another one? Bullet for My Valentine, maybe.
Kill Switch
Yep.
back then.
Kill Switch. Okay,
Yeah.
those are your big four, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all do similar things, but they all do their own unique things very, very well, right?
Mhm.
And one of the mainstays is fucking ripping ass guitar solos,
Yep.
and
And great choruses.
Great.
and
Yeah.
great
Epic
choruses,
courses.
soaring
Epic.
choruses, you
Right.
know?
Wall of sound kind of shit.
Actual epics.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Like-
But I
legitimate
think
epics.
it's
Yeah.
the melodic aspect. I think a lot of that. I think that was a term we used, melodic metalcore back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like it had to have melody that mattered. It wasn't just thrash because like Trivium was around this time, but they didn't do the same thing. They were more thrashy.
They were
like
more true to just straight up metal.
Metallica. Yeah, they
Yeah.
felt like
they were
Metallica.
Metallica to me back then.
Right. Yes, they had some choruses, but they still were like, we don't do the melody thing really.
Yeah.
We rip solos, we play grimy, and we
They were
kinda
more
yell.
garage. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was more garage.
And that's okay because people can like that. But
Mhm.
like I think this specific space was that melodic aspect.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of people call Avenged like our Metallica or like our Guns N' Roses, but like I really do think there are Iron Maiden. Like-
I've always put them Iron Maiden.
Dude,
yeah.
like this is such a fucking like just power slave and like Run to the Hills kind of album. And,
Exactly,
Like,
that's
the way
the
they,
thing.
yeah.
they do their
themes.
solos and their bass fills and all that
Yeah,
stuff. You can
you're
hear the
telling me-
bass.
Mhm.
Burn It Down
Like-
comes on, and like that's that intro lick on the lead guitar. You're telling me, yeah, that's not. You can put that in the fucking 70s and 80s and say,
Right.
Just put
yeah, that's just Trooper, bro. Like, like seriously. So it's for real, seriously.
all the different sounds that they incorporate in this. I know they get weirder and more experimental with the next one and Nightmare and stuff, but like this one, if you asked me what's the quintessential, like just to show a normie, like, hey, what's metal? Boom. You know what I mean? Like you got this cheesy ass perfect album art. Like
Yeah.
the album sounds like that art. You know what I mean? Like when you're fucking running around
But it's
on Beast and a Harlot and on Burn It Down, I feel like I'm on the horse.
What the hell is it? Ghost Rider or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You get that sense of like, oh, you're a cowboy out in the Midwest somewhere, or not Old West, just
100%
doing cowboy shit. You know,
but that's the thing. Like you don't know what it's like to be like fucking 13 and be like, man, my first tattoo, I'm getting the fucking bat skull. I'm getting it.
Oh no, a lot of people that did that.
Yeah, you know, because it's like there's something like the iconography. Like you see that and you're like, man, that is a.
Dude,
200 years from now, you'll see that fucking scribbled on the wall on some abandoned fucking
you'll know what
place.
it is.
It's like that's fucking Avenged Sevenfold.
Well, fucking dude, and It's Always Sunny, at least in like the early seasons, there is an Avenged Sevenfold on one of the posts in the bar.
Hell
like you see the fucking death bat in it.
You don't really get that. Like if you posted a modern band, they don't really have that iconography.
Periphery maybe. But even then, like no one would really know that.
Yeah.
Right, like you're wearing. Look at your shirt right now.
Yeah.
Right, like
people
that's
know
that
this
era. That's that time.
Do you know what this is? Oh.
No, because that's just
but, you know.
yeah. You don't really know what that is,
No.
right? But like you know what the bat skull is. You know what the fucking heartogram is. Like there's just something about that time that like every mall goth had to have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a double-edged sword because while this is metalcore adjacent, for some reason like this was like. Everyone's like, you listen to goth music, you're a fucking emo weirdo.
Well, it's because you watch the videos with the vampire strippers, and you're like, like look how they're all dressed in that. Like,
all black.
Like you look at Zaki Vengeance. It's like literally my entire friend group. You know, trip pants and shit. Like, come on.
There goes Shay. You know.
yeah. Ali Salgado.
Yeah.
Yeah, my high school girlfriend had a Zaki V poster in her closet. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. They're a bunch of handsome boys. I believe it. Fucking, my favorite memory regarding this album. Well, not even that. My first memory of this album is I think it came out before Katrina, but like I still associate New Orleans with this album and all that stuff.
I do that whole little time right then.
Yeah,
it's all
like,
just one.
Part of that is because where we were at the world with the war and all that stuff in the Middle East.
It was just fitting to pop off. Yeah,
this kind of had like biblical soundtrack to it. Like this sounds like the apocalypse, if you ask me. Right? Like this is a soundtrack to
the Four Horsemen coming in, kind of thing.
Yeah, and like. It ending with MIA, which is kind of a book of revelations in and of itself, putting you doing this thing where there was a lot of pro-war music coming out around this time, and Avenged Sevenfold always kind of like right on that center line and very been pro-military, but they showed on this that you could be pro-military and pro the soldiers that are fighting this war, but you don't have to be pro-war, and I think they did this really, really well by putting you as the listener in the perspective of someone going off to war. It's starting with the ending and then going back to the beginning. You're all gun-ho, you're just hoorah, and then you start you start seeing your brothers die, and and then you start realizing that it's just the same as the people we're killing. It's just we're just killing civilians and all that stuff. That also sucks, like holy shit. And just really showed like the darkness and how bloody and terrible war is. And I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news, but that's kind of the reason I push for this, because it's very similar to what's happening right now, and it's scary.
It's a very good like mirror, I suppose, or like a window looking in, like the propaganda machine. And like a lot of bands in this era were able to give us that at our young age, which helps us become like little fucking anarchists or whatever. Right. So like there's like a lot of the bands did that for us because like the internet was in its infancy, at least what we know of now. So
Does
What do you
that
got?
lead to? Because again, once the Gagas and stuff, once that era of music came along, politics went away from music as well.
It was by design.
the government was getting pissed with the Green Days and the Avenged Sevenfolds, and like
The-
I mean,
and-
Critical
and
Acclaim
the
2008.
You know?
Dixie Chicks. No, like the next album in self-titled Critical Acclaim is literally like the first song on there is like, listen here, motherfucker. Like
all
it's
y'all
literally
are-
there.
You're all fucks. Fuck
Yeah,
off.
it's like it literally hits it right there. But like we have this build up, and we, you know, Against Me was doing it, Green Day's doing it. Blink-182, they're just want to be drunks and like get high and fuck around. So like you didn't get it from that side of the punk world, which I know. Like remember how I said there's like a divide of like who goes where when you listen to music, and there's a lot of people that went the pop punk round who just want to have fun, and then it's like I'm listening to Green Day, I'm listening to Linkin Park, I'm listening to Avenged Sevenfold. Like I'm getting fucking. Is this indoctrination? No,
You know?
it's just being enlightened. I feel like, and it's kind of led me to like what I look for in music as I, progress through life.
Yeah, it's like, listen, I've talked over and over, and I will continue to do so because it's a point I like to prove is I've gone from one side of the road to the other. Okay, and music was a big part of that. Green Day, this band, fucking System of a Down, right there.
Inner
Fucking
Shikari.
Inner Shikari came later. That finalized it, but like the beginnings of it in this pivotal moment in history where in my household we were justified. We were supposed to be doing what we were doing, and fucking cheering on the shock and terror kind of shit.
Oh, go Bush!
And then and then I listen to this, and I'm like, well, wait a second.
Yeah,
I vibe with this way more. Like I actually do. And it starts. You start asking questions. The fuck is Figaro about?
Yeah.
It's actually pretty deep.
Well, for real, like being a kid in the South, right? Like when I was little, when someone was going up against Bush, I was like, how dare them go up against my president like that? And like I had no idea. Like I was like, why am I saying that as a fucking kid? Because you're in the South and that's just what it was. Especially in Florida, right? So it was like it was weird.
I did a whole book report on Ronald Reagan my sophomore year. Yeah,
it was weird.
I did one on
argued
Michael
against
Moore.
climate change that year.
I would beat my fucking child at like like what were you thinking? And it's just because you don't have anything to base it off of. You're not doing your own research, you're just being told stuff. So like this era was very important, I think, for millennials, for sure.
I always viewed it like this. Who do I want? If I had the choice of just hanging out with anybody, who would I want to be hanging around me? Who am I going to agree with more? Is it going to be like the Glenn Becks of the world, or is it going to be fucking Green Day? Okay,
right.
Is it going to be the Papa Bear O'Reillys, or is it going to be Avenged Sevenfold?
Oh, it was the Minutes to Midnight album for me that Handheld High talking about Katrina and stuff. It's like, oh, yeah, okay, that really was.
Can't wait to do that.
That was really fucked,
And then that circles back around to Beast and the Harlot, which very similar vibes. It's just the Book of Revelations. Funny story to that is in my senior year, we were in chorus. I was with Jordan and all that stuff. All we were doing was playing Rage Against the Machine and Avenged Sevenfold because motherfucker he could just play it, and I was blown away. And I was just like, wow, you can do the thing.
Yeah, he's a bastard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect pitch, motherfucker.
It's the end of the year concert, and we have to do a collab with the girls' chorus class because for some reason, guys' chorus and girls' chorus didn't go together. Actually thinking about it right now, that doesn't make a lick of sense. Anyway, seems like a waste of time.
Miss things.
Yep. Let's call it Miss C. And I don't want to dox anyone.
Oh well,
it's not her name anymore, anyways.
It's not. It's a different Miss C now.
Yeah,
you're right.
So end of year spring concert coming up. Jordan and I are basically just leading what the dudes are going to be singing. Okay, we did Flavor of the Week, we did Flowbots, we did some other stuff, but then we got to the part where we could do like our own performance, right? And Jordan and I were the only like really musical person in that whole class, like all that stuff. So we decided, hey Jordan, Beast and the Harlots, your favorite solo to play. Let's do that because we can get by with it being the harlot, but because it's the Bible, that's our loophole, right?
Yes.
Because she can't, Miss Christian lady can't say nothing about that. It's the Bible. And
Yep.
so
Yeah, merci.
yeah,
Yeah.
we got a ragtag group together. We taught Ray how to play the guitar or the bass. I forget which one. I think he ended up playing the bass. We were going to get Matt Green and Ashton to do bass and drums and all that stuff. It was going to be perfect, right? We get to the audition thing. We audition for it. We get the clear to do it, I think. Or the day before we were supposed to audition, she stopped us and she was like, I have the lyrics. We can't do this. And I'm like, what do you mean? Here's a Bible
Fornication.
where we've already highlighted literally a one-for-one translation. Miss C, I don't think you understand. If Jesus was real, he could sue. But, I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it. So we had to switch, and our panic plan B was Seize the Day. I was talking to Jordan about possibly getting the video for it, but I don't think it's going to happen in time. And it's whatever. But we did Seize the Day instead. And that's technically the first song I performed in front of an audience.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did acoustic in
Classic.
that, and then I did my solo song was "High School Low" by Say Anything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Good Important Day.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Beasts and Harlots, fucking great. It's just the apocalypse, and
Mhm.
it's so good. All of it's so good. Strength of the World.
God, I wish that song.
I think that's my
that's-
favorite.
That song's so good, but like I was telling you, Brett, that like the beginning of this album is so good and strong that like when you get to those last like 4 tracks, it's like, they are great, but it's like by that time I've already listened to like an hour's worth of music.
All right, it's because we're we're getting later into the episode. I can start shitting on this a little bit. This album is too fucking long.
Yeah, Betrayed. You could have cut Betrayed, I think.
This is
As
too
good as it
fucking long,
is.
man. Like the
I
orchestral
like
parts, I love
Betrayed.
them, but god damn it, dude! Like they're fucking 9-minute songs and shit. It's like I get it.
Well, it's why like a lot of when they became singles, they took like a minute off of every song.
Yeah.
But like the way
It's
they
too
were
fucking long, man.
composed, like compositionally, they are just like chunks that like you could take that out and it totally works still.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Like-
But like you were talking about Strength of the World, minute and a half is just the fucking that weird little intro. It's not needed.
Not needed
It's
at all.
like it's not needed.
And then even the outro is like a 4-minute epic of something. It's like this is awesome. But whatever this is, put it in a fucking game, dude. Like this is,
Hey, they did make a game at one point, I believe.
Yeah, we want to talk
There've
about
been a
that.
lot of Call of Duties and stuff.
Yeah.
Is it Strength of the World or is it MIA that the starting kind of sounds like they just wanted to do Stairway to Heaven?
I think that's MIA because MIA
Yeah.
takes a minute to get
A
going.
long time. A lot of it
quiet
is. It's
minute.
like a minute and a half of just them fucking dicking around, and then the song comes.
Yeah, but it's so good. I don't care. It's so good.
Oh no, it's still good. It's just I had
Yeah,
to say
it's
it.
like
I had to
It's
say
it's
it, man.
so much fun to drive around to. You just feel like you're fucking blasting through space. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is definitely a critique that is valid, Brett. I agree.
No,
Because
it
like
is.
we were saying, the last 4 tracks, it's like by that time I'm already at an hour
And
plus
see,
in. Like
I had
fucking A.
forgotten most of them because of
Yeah.
that. Because I'm
When we get to our scores, that is part of the reason why my memory score is
Yes.
not a 10.
Yes,
like
my
I
memory score is
remember
not
it
a 10.
all. But like it's like fuck, oh yeah, MIA. How good is that? And like you listen to it, it definitely checks back and you remember it. But it's like when you're listening, oh yeah, City of Evil, you don't remember that's on there because the first 7 tracks are fucking bangers.
I mean,
Right.
I think maybe just placement wise things could.
Yeah.
I think Strength of the World should have been the closer.
I think
Mhm.
so too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you could have put some of the longer ones maybe at the front to kind of like space it out a little bit more.
Balance it. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
once you
Well,
hit Sidewinder, everything's 7 minutes or more,
Right.
except for Betrayed, but it's close enough.
But Cody, do you have any more lore you need to dive into, or can we get
No,
into some of this?
that was
We
it.
can break
Yeah,
it down a little bit. All right.
break it down.
Oh hell yeah! Well, Brett, you kind of started it. Is there anything else you want to add? Because one critique, too fucking long. Anything else that you, as you were listening, was like, oh yeah, that might be why I don't like this
Yes.
piece, or may I
Yes.
Or do you
really
want to
love this.
save it? You want to save it for that part because next week got View Skewed and Reviewed.
My favorite part of the podcast.
I'll save it for the next part then.
The podcast within a podcast. Thanks,
yes,
Brett.
yes.
That way I went through the internet. Not as much as you would think.
Really?
Honestly,
This
So
was
this is pretty
pre-internet.
popular album though.
Yeah, you would think so. Not a whole lot. There's a fuck ton on YouTube, but I just grabbed 5 of them. I'm done getting every little person. You know what I mean? Like, fucking.
But Brian's
Say
enough.
it's good.
Tunes.
Yeah.
Brian's enough
Yep.
for us. Actually, is Brian one of them?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
Oh no!
Oh, damn it.
All right. If you'd like to sponsor this review, please just email us at pleasesponsorme@pleasegod.com. Get me factor.
Owala fucking water bottles. Remember?
Here, fucking
Ghost, please.
Ghost Energy.
Milwaukee Tools.
That's a big money.
Yeah. Man, brothers,
I put my ghost in
people.
my Owala,
There you
and
go.
I'm so hydrated, or at least they think so. Now the numbers.
Mhm.
All Music 7, Blender 8, IGN 7.9, Metal Hammer 8, punknews.org 6, and also Rolling Stone is 6. Sputnik though 9. To put that together, it's 6.9. Nice.
Nice.
Reverse it, it's Amazon's 9.6.
Nice.
And then you got Rate Your Music at 6.02, Album of the
Wow.
Year at 7.7, and Metacritic's user base at 8.2. Then over here on YouTube, Banger TV gave it a 9. Metal Trenches put it at B tier, so I gave it an 8. Jamie Horsley gave it a 10. Ainatsu gave it a 9.65, and Rocked gave it an S tier, aka I'll say that's a 10.
So internet knows what's up. Or at least YouTube knows what's up. Those other scores, that was weird and all over the place. Kind of low for a lot of it. A lot of 6s in there.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
a
the
fucking
sixes- the
Grammy-
sixes
VMA
throw me.
winning album, like
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You got Video Music Awards. Was it a Grammy nom during this time?
I think so.
Yeah. So it's like weird that it did so well, but yet unfavored in the critiques. The YouTube definitely helped it from dipping pretty low.
Yes.
But I will say, because there were so many 6s, I will go 7-8.
7.8. Okay, Brett.
It might be a
Let's say
little
you.
low, but
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little higher. I'm gonna say an 8.2.
okay.
8.2.
Yeah.
Okay, the correct answer is 813.
Ooh,
Oh, really?
Oh. ooh. Yeah. So I guess maybe the YouTubes did pull it up and save it from getting obliterated.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. I mean,
who won that?
I'd-
Was that Josh?
I went
technically?
I
over.
was-
Yeah.
if we're going by Price is Right rules, which we
Always.
do, then I win. But
Not
my
smug
score
at
is
all about it.
way better, way better than that. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's way too low for one of the best albums of our
All
lifetime.
time.
Yeah, yeah.
I will go last. Josh,
Okay,
you can
I
go
shall.
first.
I will. Okay, so we'll start off with our first category, songwriting and lyrics. I bounced around between a 9.6 and a 9.8.
Mm.
And the reason why I couldn't figure out what I really wanted to do with those numbers is because some of it is corny. Okay. But I love the parts that aren't. So I was back and forth there. And also what you were saying, Brett, some of the songs, the writing of it, the composition of it, maybe it was a little too long sometimes. Maybe they could have trimmed off
Yeah,
a minute
yeah.
or gotten rid of an intro, like, and just composed it a little tighter. That would have helped it give it a little bit of a higher score. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give it the 9.8 because I like the higher score at the final.
Good. Good. Yeah.
Musicianship 10. There's not. Come on.
There
Come on.
no argument. There's
Please,
no
please.
argument to say that's anything less.
Right.
Yep.
Everybody, you did make a good point that when you look at all 5 of the members, M Shadows, because he's not screaming and it's a new territory and he's kind of figuring out how he fits with his characterization of his voice, that's a little lower, but it's still like fucking very small margin of error.
Well, and we also have hindsight to thank because it's a little rough around the edges on this one, but
Oh,
we
it gets
know
better.
on the next album
Oh,
it gets better.
100%.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
even live, fucking it sounds fucking
Yeah,
perfect. So like
love
this
it,
album
love-
now, if they re-recorded it,
Great.
sound
And love it or hate it, by the time you get to the Hail to the Kings, like he's still killing it vocally, even if you might not like the songs. He's still doing stuff very well. And the shift was smart, so good for him for that.
Right.
Production, I'm going 8.5, just because it is a little dated, and maybe some of the layers could have been mixed a little better, but it is still very solid for the time era, so giving it an 8.5 there. Originality, 9.5, because it is so different, but it also, we just talked about how there is so much 80s influence or, late 70s metal. Also, you're coming off of a metalcore space. So there is stuff that kind of sounds like it. Like if you listen to like Black Veil Brides, it's kind of in there. This weird goth metal. Yeah. It's kind of there, but they are doing it better. So pretty close to a 10. And memorability, like I was saying, I'm going 9.8 just because those last like couple tracks at the very end, forget about them because you've already been listening for an hour and a half. So it's like kind of bouncy right there. So final score, 9.52.
Wow. Oh my god.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Oh
right.
man.
And it was only
point.
It's only 0.04 from if I gave it a 9.6 on songwriting. So it's like.
So you said 5.2?
5.2. Yep.
That's 0.01 higher than what Hybrid Theory got. That's top 3.
Yeah, this fucking kills it. I love this album. It's very good. And I have to give it space because I love the White Album more. Right. Like looking at each category, it's hard to be like.
Now I'm nervous because should I go next? Because my score is lower.
It can be.
I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say it now.
Okay. Would you like me to go next? So you could deliberate?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a yes.
I know it's hard because you look at the categories and like when you think about your scores, it's like they're justified.
It's the thing. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch my score. But if I can see some justification to raise it, I will.
If I may.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If I may. I will say right off the jump, mine's going to be very high. Mine might be the highest I've rated an album so far.
Okay, well then maybe I'll leave my score.
No. You shut up. Let me tell you what. When I'm looking at this, I'm not looking at it in part of it's in hindsight, but a lot of it is how did it affect me at the time, especially for an album like this, where I know it in and out. It's one of the first albums I autistically just latched onto.
Same.
And, that again, you talk about setting on a path. This set the bar for me for everything after it. If you weren't as good as these guys doing this shit, I didn't want to fucking hear you. Okay? I don't care about you, Pete Wentz. You're not doing Johnny Christ things. Get out of here. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
I know when you do compare that shit, that's like apples and oranges, bro.
Yeah.
It's like.
So my argument for that though is I do have Dream Theater. That's my biggest issue is that I have Dream Theater growing up.
But this is your generation's Dream Theater. So anything positive about Dream Theater, you can even take away the negatives of the vocals sucking dick. And there you go, better.
I know.
James has always been the worst part of that band.
I know.
Yep.
That's just a universal.
Yeah. But so I'm looking at my scores like that. And yeah, I love the White Album too. Maybe it'll be the same, maybe it won't. But like I'm just going at this as it was Harry Styles. So songwriting and lyrics, 9.63. When this came out, I could raise it, but everything else is so high I don't even care. When this came out, this was the most like deep and lore, atmospheric building, world building lyrics. It was like reading a goddamn book. Like just everything's so visual. You can see in your head the songs as they're playing out. You could hear like every little fucking thing. So musicianship also a 10. Like there's no other. There is no other. People have gotten close.
Completely agree.
But this album set the bar for everyone else, and we got a lot of good music as a result of that as well. So the legacy that this album in particular has on the entire scene, it made people have to try harder. Because Atreyu was right there too, They never got the City of Evil time. Kill Switch was a legend in their own right. They didn't get commercially as big as this album did.
No. My Curse didn't get anywhere near this.
It got close. It got close.
but that was it for him too.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was gone.
Granted,
Fair.
you know, you can make an argument this was it for them in the mainstream eyes as well. Even though self-titled did really good, and Hail to the King apparently is their best album ever.
Yeah, dude, Hail to the King.
The fuck. You should do that album.
I hate that album,
One
but
day.
like the numbers don't
Listen,
lie. Dude.
I'm fine revisiting it with fresh ears, you know, and like I don't know, people give the drums a lot of shit for that, but like, what are you gonna do? You know, like Nightmare was already mostly done, and you got Portnoy.
Tangent,
but like,
tangent. Aaron is from Confide. Great band.
Yeah, I know.
I loved them back then.
Great band.
He can play drums. He was
play
shitting
drums.
his pants because he had to sit in front of fucking a massive drum set. And he was like,
I
what the fuck do I do?
I don't think it was that, because when I saw him play with them, he did all the fucking. He could play all these
He
songs.
could play. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He
so
could play these songs.
that's why I've always thought it was a creative decision by the band to be like, listen, it's a tall order to follow up the Rev. Like like he was such an integral part in the writing and the composition.
Damn, dude.
And I think they were like, let's just fucking strip it back a little bit. Let's just have a fun album. Let's just play what we want to play, not really go too crazy with it. And I just think the fan backlash was just too great, and they just had to. Poor Alex got the brunt of it. Yeah. It's like, you know, fucking when Steven Gerrard left Liverpool, anyone coming in to the captaincy and the number 8 role, tall shoes to fill. Okay, never gonna happen. The next one over, like it's just following up Joey or with Paul in Slipknot. Like once Paul died, that was it for Slipknot for me, because it never felt the same.
Yep.
And same thing with Joey and all that stuff. Like they were the backbone of it, and so was the Rev.
Yep.
So Nightmare is the last album for me, but Life is But a Dream is very good. Anyway, tangent over. Production 10. It sounds great. It sounded great in 2004. It blew my mind. You could hear every single goddamn part of this. If they re-released it today, I don't even know what I'd do. And originality, I gave this a 10. I gave this a 10. I know there's a lot of references to everything, but at the time, again, who was coming out? And who did this influence? And then memorability, another 10, because I know I don't have that fogginess with the second half. As soon as I hear it starts, I'm like, I know this one. I listened to this so much. Even before I met Jordan, this is how we bonded, was because we both knew this album back to front. Like, I forgot how integral this was to my entire everything about music. You know, so with that all said,
fair enough.
9.93.
God damn.
9.93.
Wow.
I said this is about as close as the 10 I can get right now.
That's
I
higher.
remember
That's
what I
higher
gave Meteora
than
and all that stuff.
That's higher than American Idiot.
At the time, I didn't give a shit about American Idiot. I was listening to this.
But I will, because we, you know, this isn't your favorite band, right? This Inner Shikari is, but because we have these categories.
Yeah, but at the time, though, this was the big one up there for me.
Yeah, but like when you look at our categories, they're such individualized to a specific point, right? You can't just say, well, like, I like this band better than this band, and that's why the score is going to be higher. That's not how it is. Sometimes you got to look at it piece by piece.
Yep.
And because this is such a musician's band, it's going to alter the score.
This showed me that, hey, there's some intricacies that you could pay attention to and really get into some fun, weird shit that no one else is going to listen to. But when you do find that other person that listens to it, boy, are you fucking best friends for life.
That was American Idiot for me and Josh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a different album for everybody, but this was like one of them. You know? This made me the cool kid because I listen to the weird, long, solo-y shit. I know music stuff.
No, but so like nostalgia away, you know, historic trace away. Brett, bring it back down to earth.
I'm going to have to because my issues...
Give it the higher one. Come on.
Unfortunately, don't get really changed. So I'm just going to say...
Okay.
Production and musicianship 10s immediately. I'm giving songwriting and lyrics a 9 because I think they're great. A little much at times, you know. This isn't really necessarily part of. I probably should put this in musicianship. I'll put it in songwriting lyrics. His vocals, it's just sometimes he'll hit a note, and I'm just like, you shouldn't have done that note.
Right.
You can't.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You can't hit that, and it's cool. You will. But right now, that shouldn't have been recorded that way. And there's times where, I guess, and I don't know, because the production just sounds so well that I don't want to take away from the production value of it because it was more of a
It's just
a writing.
beginnings. He's
It's
a
a learning
musician.
curve.
His
was,
voice is
yeah.
a musical instrument,
Right.
right? It's just you grow with your abilities as you practice and stuff. And he started something new here.
And
It
that's
makes
why
sense.
I still want to give musicianship as a whole though a 10 because they still nail everything that they're doing. This is a personal. Oh, it just kind of hits my ear a little funny.
Yeah.
You know.
No, and that's fair. Like even like just the key change in Beast and a Harlot. That's a hard key change to do because he's already kind of up there in the
he's
register.
up there. He's up there. Yeah.
And
it's all drop D. It's very high up there in the key.
yeah, and
So-
I had to learn how to fucking teach my vocal cords to do that fucking key change and make it not sound like shit.
Now, here's where things are going to differ the most. I'm going to go into the worst one, which is my memory. I don't remember. I didn't remember a lot of the second half. Or I remembered. I'm like, oh yeah, I know this went into an orchestral part right here. I don't remember it being 4.5 minutes long. You know?
That's fair.
Right.
So I gave it a 7 because of how much of a chunk of the album, because of how long it is. You know, it becomes
it's half of the album.
It's damn near damn near half of it. So it's.
If you weren't just listening to this nonstop, I don't expect you to remember the second half.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Right, because the bangers are 1 to 7, so you get the rest of the album. It's very like
it's commitment.
Yeah, you have to actually get into
committed.
it.
So my next thing,
I'm with you,
is the originality, and I am leaning towards because I have always since day one, I have always heard. I'm like, oh, that's Slash's solo.
Mhm.
Oh, that's the Iron Maiden solo. So I know that I've heard it too much, so I gave that an 8.
It's because you had a metal dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that benefit.
My dad listened to AC/DC. That's it.
No, but
that's
even with
journey
that,
far as ago.
you could attribute that to the same thing where you attribute to Matt's vocal changing. This was also a musical change for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they had fully figured out their unique sounds. Whereas on the White Album, it doesn't sound like anyone else anymore. It sounds like Sinister Gates.
That's honestly,
no one else is doing Afterlife.
That's a good point of why it's even the self-titled, because it's like, this is Avenged Sevenfold.
The restart of
this is it.
So that is such a smart point.
But anyways, back to this album. My overall score came out to an 8.8 on this.
That's still good. I don't even care.
It was fun.
No,
that's why I'm not
good.
in the 9s. I was kind of expecting it to be in the 9s. I think that it's really the memorability that kind of kills it for me.
Yeah, I could have dropped it down like you did on some of the points because I do agree with you. That's why my production's 8.5. Even though you gave it a 10, my own ear is hearing things that I think could be better because I have context of what it is 20 years.
Oh, dude,
later.
I just
Right?
brought
So,
up production issues, and I'm still like, no, it's still perfect.
Right.
You know?
And like memorability, I only took a little bit off for what you were talking about when I could have taken off more. But I did listen to it more and more. I was like, man, I still know the lyrics to this, so I gave it the points extra.
Yeah, like
Right. So like it's all individual, and that's the point of this.
Yeah. And in the happy median, we find what honestly is probably the correct score and all that stuff. You know, but that's the beauty. We rate by the same metrics, but we all rate differently depending on like how we're feeling and all that stuff.
It's a lot of it.
You know?
What's funny is it does tend to come down to the production and the memorability of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember?
Well, especially because we're not listening to terrible shit. So like,
Yeah.
you know, it's a celebration. I mean, scores are really meaningless, and arbitrary, but it's fun to do.
It is fun to do.
And we're only 3 fucks on the internet.
Yeah, who cares?
You know?
It's just a theory.
A music theory. Boop, 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 boop.
Okay.
Misha comes flying
Alright.
across there. Bringing it to the
Alright.
wall.
So wall
My,
point 2.0.
My album of the year is getting kicked off.
I should scroll down a little. All right, so yeah, we're gonna stay on the top 25. That's just gonna.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah,
Oh.
it'd be
Top 10,
stupid
so
not
it
to.
doesn't
Yeah,
need to worry
really.
about it. It's
Trying to get this perfect.
All
It's not gonna
right,
work.
so we had
since this fails number
8.8.
10, you're going down, bro.
Yeah, we had an 8.8, 9.9, and a 9.5 essentially.
All right, so my score, which is the lowest one, is already at. It's going to beat 12. So we're already guaranteed top 12.
We're guaranteed top 10.
We're guaranteed
Easy.
top 10. Yeah, we're guaranteed top 10. So 993, you said?
But will it break 5? That's the question.
Yeah, the real question is it top 5?
Oh.
I'm trying to math. I'm trying to.
It might be.
Don't
I'm
math.
going.
Don't math. Go
I'm
with your gut.
going. This is my guess.
Yeah, go.
5th.
He thinks 5.
You know what? I'm thinking 6th, to be honest.
I'm going 9-3.
I think my chem's going to stay above it.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me just redo this real fast. I don't want to have another fuck up. Like,
What we gotta do
No.
3 or 4 times?
6 to 5 is a bigger gap, so there's more
It is.
spots
It is.
for you. So I do. I get that.
okay, I would have fucked it up. Okay, so
Because my chem is
You're
that's
probably
almost
right.
9.3. It's almost 9.3.
all right. Say your guesses again. 5 and 6.
I'm saying 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying 6.
All right. You're
With my
both wrong.
score.
We're both
I
wrong.
win.
Oh.
It's number 4. I'm glad I redid the
Whoa.
math because it was almost.
Holy
number 3.
shit! Look at the top 4.
Wow.
Our fucking childhood.
I know, right?
Yeah. All right. So now the next question is it tying with hybrid theory? I did kind of say it was almost 3, so it's possible.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Because my score was 9.52, so I don't think it would I mean, it's kind of in the middle, but I don't think it's gonna stay there. I'm gonna say 4.6.
I'm thinking
4.6.
4.9. I think 4.9. I think it's
You
really
think
close.
a little
though.
closer?
You both bust. It's 4-2.
Oh shit.
Oh man. All right. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair. Yeah.
It's been a while since we've done this. Okay.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow. Number 4.
I mean,
Damn.
the top 4, the 5, I feel like can always move around because that is a great album, but we haven't done any of the other August Burns Red albums
Yeah,
yet.
exactly.
very
That's
true.
the thing. That's not
You know
their
what I'm
best
saying?
one.
And there's also other fucking nostalgia bait tracks that would probably sit around the top 5 as well. But like they're getting super goddamn close.
Mm-hmm.
9.4, 9.3. It's not a lot of space in there.
We're starting to get some good albums in here.
Damn.
Damn. So what are we gonna do next time? You're not gonna find out this day. No.
That's right.
For the next time.
Fuck you.
Here, hold on. Okay, cool.
Next time we're changing it. Now, in order to find out what we're doing next, you gotta watch The Green Room, which is the other podcast we do that comes out on the same day as this one, but like the next week, ideally. And it's fun. And in that, you'll find out what we're doing next. We don't even know right now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Whoa.
Josh's pick.
But it will be my turn.
It will be
bitches.
his turn.
Which he doesn't know what he's
Yeah.
doing yet.
No.
There's too many to do. We just went through. It was like a whole hour of us being like, "Man, this."
Oh
one's
yeah,
great.
we took
this
way
one's
too
good."
long on that.
It's exciting.
But like on a green room, that's perfect content.
Hmm.
You could
Yeah.
be seeing us deliberate and shit. So definitely watch those when they
yeah,
come
it's a
out.
fun time. Go watch the one that we did. It was a fun pilot episode, and I'm really happy with the results.
Mhm.
And honestly,
We're doing more stuff on TikTok as well, so make sure you
Yeah.
follow us there.
Yeah.
We got things. We're doing the
Yeah,
things.
We got
Okay.
Good
things.
stuff.
If you need to watch the things, make sure you hit the subscribe button and follow us. Yeah, come hang out with us. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
No, just watch our things because we don't like making them and no one watches them. It pisses us off, and we'll find you. Okay, we'll beat you up. Just what it is. Just what it is.
Watch our shit. All right, that's
Yes.
all I got.
Okay, goodbye. Whoa.
Okay then.
Give me more crack. I love crack. Give me black tar heroin, baby.
All right.
All right.
Goodbye.
When Hail to the King came out,
Yeah.
I gotta be
I mean,
honest.
Like it
Right.
And I still have, and I'm adding. I know this.
grand epic